Oh, you're going to have a new season every week.
Every week.
No, that's not how seasons work,
No,
I'm afraid.
I know that. You know that. But not everyone else knows that, mate.
That's not how seasons work.
You're listening to The Big Drill. And here we are recording on The Big Drill. Wow.
Welcome everyone to The Big Drill, and as always I have Will by my side.
Hi, Ghazi.
Hello, Will. Would you like to tell the people listening what we are talking about today?
Well, today we are going to talk about the concept of social media, the good, the bad, and the photoshopped.
Have you ever photoshopped an image of yourself?
Wow, straight in there. I think, bloody hell, mate, don't hold back.
It, so.
Personally, no, I haven't photoshopped it, but I did do a photo shoot, and the guy that took the photos obviously like retouched, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what they do behind the scenes.
Bit of editing,
there's a lot of lighting that goes on anyway. Lighting is the key to any successful photo shoot, especially if you're in the fitness industry. Get the lighting right and you can turn a shit show into something looking half good. So
alright, don't call yourself a shit show, bloody hell.
I wasn't necessarily directing it myself. Thanks anyway. So yeah, there has been an element of that, but it's not necessarily down just to the kind of like imagery, which is of course huge, but it is the other kind of tests that are put out, or like the testaments that are given by people, businesses, such forth, and then obviously marketed through social media, for want of a better word, to sell or for people to consume products or ideas. What about you? You ever had a Photoshop situation?
Well, of an image of myself? No. Actually, I might have.
What about a filter?
I've added a filter.
Of course you have.
I've blurred out a background.
Who was in the background?
No, it's just I just wanted it blurred. There was no one in the background. It was just me, but I wanted it blurred. So that's technically I've edited.
You've edited, yeah.
But I've never drawn a six pack on myself or.
Don't need to, mate. You're ripped.
What's the thing where they make it like curves the space so it makes you look like you've got a thinner waist or something?
And that's horrendous. Some people get caught doing that left, right, and centre. Yeah, like the shaving off part of the.
Yeah, but you can see like they've like curved.
Yeah, you bring it in and it like.
And when you zoom in on the background, you can see like the door is like curved.
So I've got a story about this, right? There was this guy that I used to work alongside when I was in management. He's one of the guys I used to employ, and he went to a event somewhere. Well, I can't remember where it was. Probably Body Power, and met someone in a changing room, as you do, and wanted to get a photo with him.
Okay.
With him, like a
selfie.
Correct, a selfie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, or someone took the photo of them.
Fine.
I don't know. But took it next to the changing room cubicle doors. So he's standing there and he's like, he's obviously gone in there and he's seen his childhood hero, probably sweetheart as well. He's seen him and he's gone. I can imagine him going skipping over to him. And gone. I'd love
in the changing room.
In the changing rooms.
One of the if anyone ever wants to take a picture of me, please do not when I'm in the changing room. Okay, continue, Will.
And just in case anyone listening is planning on doing that.
Yeah, just anywhere else, please.
So just basically, I can imagine skipping up there, getting his photo taken, and jobs are good and photos done. Thanks very much. I can't for the life of me remember what fitness celebrity it was, but job's done, photos taken. Obviously this guy was like getting the hell out of there as quickly as he could because this little scrote of a fitness consultant was trying to touch him up, and then
oh wow.
And then once he was out there, he'd obviously looked at the photos and he was like dying to like post it on Instagram, Facebook, any other social media platform where he could get validation from his peers that he'd been standing next to such an Adonis. And in his disheartened view of the photo to see how much larger this gentleman was standing next to him, he decided to Photoshop and edit I believe it was his deltoid and tricep, and in doing so,
I thought you would have done the bicep. Okay.
Well, it might have been bicep. I can't remember. My anatomy and physiology is a bit off key. Bicep, tricep,
all the same thing.
All the same thing on the arm.
It's basically
I'm joking. My anatomy and physiology is actually on point. And anyway, on his arm, and he photoshopped it to give himself more mass.
Mm-hmm. So he did the opposite.
He did the opposite, yeah.
He stretched out, so the door was getting smaller in the background.
So you look at this, and like on first glance, you're like, oh, we'll call him Johnny. Everyone gets called Johnny.
Man, Johnny has been following me around for a long time now.
So Johnny's got look, he looks pretty big next to Ulysses. It wasn't Ulysses, but we'll just say Ulysses. He looks, yeah. And then you look again, and you take a second look, and you see that the cubicle door in the changing room is bulging to like the contour of his arm.
Okay.
So he's pulled the contour of his arm and his deltoid to make his muscles look bigger, and in doing so, the background of the
Classic
photo
mistake.
is also bulged in the same direction.
Classic mistake.
So yeah, you get that. I've seen that.
Did you confront him about it?
Oh, he got absolutely annihilated for it, and rightfully so.
Oh, so everyone...
Yeah, jumped on him. He got flamed.
What did... the new gaming term. So what did he say in response?
Well, he said, yeah, I know it's a joke, but it wasn't a joke. It's just like, you're not getting out of this, pal.
Where did you upload it? On what platform?
Everything. Instagram, Facebook.
Did people comment as well?
VMO, I don't know.
Did people comment saying why they photoshopped?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And he got served, honestly, like straight away.
So the question now is, why do people feel the need to do that?
So I mean, like, what do we deal with? Like, what do we deal with in society that kind of has this predetermined ideal that this is what you should look like, this is what you should be, this is what you should be aiming to acquire, even, you know? And I think like someone somewhere along the line, probably because it helps increase revenue from a consumer's point of view, has decided that this is an ideal that someone should be aiming for, and anything that falls short of that or doesn't fit within those kind of parameters is seen as a failure or not being where you should be. And I think this comes into a lot of like the power of social media and actually the influence that it can have upon someone's mental health and their well-being, and like whether they're actually happy or whether they're seeking happiness or building self-esteem, peer recognition in the right way from external sources, you know, from people that you may or never know or never meet. So it's a big issue, I think.
I think it's pretty difficult to try and compare oneself with someone you don't even know on social media. My example would be one of my pictures, well, probably most of them. I always choose the best picture possible to upload. I'm sure most people do.
Well, yeah. Why would you choose the shittest picture? That makes no sense.
You've got a bunch of pictures, and you're like, you know what?
I'm gonna go for the poor average one.
I'm gonna go for the one where I'm like half blinking.
I mean, I do not take a good photo. Trust me. Like, I'm completely sober sometimes. I look like I'm hammered.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on there?
You obviously choose the best looking one.
Yeah.
You upload that. You don't look like that 24/7. It's only a moment in time, right?
Was it hashtag woke up like this?
Yeah, Beyonce started that, didn't she? Was it her?
I don't know.
She made a song and the line was, I woke up like this. That doesn't help either, does it?
Well, I don't think it does, no.
People going, well, if Beyonce can wake up like that, well, she didn't.
I saw this clip whereby a woman got up out of bed, when had a shower, done her hair, done her makeup, etc. Got back into bed, pulled the duvets up, and then took a selfie of herself.
And then said, I woke up
like this. After like an hour of like getting ready.
Getting ready.
But this is where you like sit really, because to your point, it's like a highlight reel. You know, you see this kind of like image, or you get this information that is transferred to you, which you consume and process, but the way in which you process and the perception that you're left with at the end of processing that information is generally pretty skewed and pretty erroneous. You know, it's not right. It only tells a fraction of anyone's story and their highlight of that particular moment. But secondly, it's not always the truth anyway, you know, and I think that that's the biggest issue that we have with the media, and also social media, probably more because it's a little bit like the Wild West, right? You know, you can put anything out there, and yeah, they're starting to clamp down on things now, but in nowhere near the speed they need to, or like the regulatory bodies need to. And also my argument is probably a whole generation, if not 2 generations worth of damage has been done.
So how do we help? How does one help themselves to avoid feeling like shit when they go onto social media? Would you suggest unfollow all the things that make you sad or annoyed or make you feel like I should look like this?
Well, I mean, like, firstly, things like things that inspire you or things that you aspire to be are 2 different things, right? So my kind of view that I have, and it's tricky for anyone, it's tricky for me as well, you know, you see things you see things on social media within our fitness industry, people absolutely killing it and doing so well in the industry, and it's like you
shout out to Teo.
Shout out to Teo. And you kind of like you should be inspired but not aspire to be that, if that makes sense.
I like that.
Makes sense. So
okay,
you should be inspired to be your own person and do your own thing, and inwardly look and think, yes, I am achieving, yes, I am moving in the direction I want to do. I think what you can kind of get lost in sometimes is when you see someone and you aspire to be them, or to replicate them, or to look like them, or to wear the same stuff as them, to have the same physique as them. All of these external stimulus of motivation towards achieving good self-esteem is pretty dangerous, because you don't really ever, or you don't stop to reflect on your own position and, you know, be inspired. All the time you're focusing on something else or someone else to try and reach.
Have you ever had a conversation with someone where you had to try and convince them you don't need to feel bad, or you don't need to feel a certain way just because you saw someone else on Instagram, for example, look a certain way? Have you had?
Yeah,
all the time for me.
I mean, on a very regular basis, I would say that.
What's the one that sticks out to you?
Oh, what's the old? So there's things on like Love Island. Love
Are you watching
Island.
that?
No, I'm not watching.
Okay.
Are you watching it?
No.
Well, this is going to be a bit of a.
But I saw one episode of the last one.
Okay. Well, I have watched a whole series before.
Okay.
Yeah. no, it was only one series. I guess like when you think about some of these situations whereby someone gets into a position of, we'll call it celebrity, whatever, like in a position of notoriety for a means of exposing themselves. Love Island as an example. Once that person then like finishes doing what they're doing, or gets into a position where they are now an influencer, now they're in a situation where they can chat shit, basically.
Chat shit, get banged.
Well, not always get banged, just chat shit for a period of time before they get called out. And you know, you see that in a multitude of different areas. Fitness, someone brings out their new 15-minute a day fitness regime, and then you know, that's download it for, I don't know, $30 or whatever, you know, however much money. Download it, buy it for this. Keep going.
I love how you assume this made-up person is American.
I know, it's just because I was reading something the other day and it was in dollars actually, but it could be anyway. It could be like New Zealand, whatever. It doesn't matter. But like they set this thing up, and they've just got into this position where they're effectively delivering something which is generic and
pretty basic,
and it's not gonna. It might work for a couple of people, but I mean, generally speaking, it's not. But this is the case of like also like goods and items and products and stuff like that, and it becomes a means of generating revenue for companies, maybe themselves as well, predominantly themselves as well. But the biggest problem that I have with that is that there's no real kind of integrity with it. It doesn't come with integrity, and it's been shown, and you know, people have been stung. You know, they've had a setup with the drink, the slimming drink with cyanide in, and then it didn't happen in the end. It was something which, you've heard this?
No.
Oh, this. So basically,
explain it anyway for everyone.
They got some celebrities from Towie. I'm not sure I can mention what their names are.
Fine.
For legal reasons.
Okay.
I'm not saying they'd come after me, but you never know.
No problem.
And they set up this sting. So the company goes to a celebrity. They go, this drink is basically, we want to sell it. Can you endorse it? You endorse it. Say you drink it. Say it's worked a treat. Say it's the tastiest thing that you've ever had. Bish bosh bash, get it done, and then we'll give you X amount of money. And they're like, yeah, sure, right? And they had like, didn't even read the ingredients. They made up the ingredients that were in it and stuff like that. And it was cyanide, you know, and they mentioned it had been used in like World War II gas chambers and stuff like that as an ingredient and stuff. And they were just like, went ahead with it anyway, said it, and then the long and short of it is they got called out and they were like, look, you know, you've agreed to do this, you've never even drunk it, you've not tasted it, whatever. Is this how like low you're willing to go in order to be able to influence people and generate revenue, you know, driven purely by money? So that's my issue that I have with that kind of approach through social media. People, you know, they get to that position of influence and then they just use it for like shit reasons.
I love those pictures where they're obviously trying to promote a product, and they'll be doing like an exercise or a pose or whatever it is, and then I don't know, sometimes like a protein powder or whatever. Yeah. And then that product becomes the centerpiece of, and then they don't even. There's no mention. It's just a post. There's nothing. It's just. And I'm like, you've obviously put that there on purpose for everyone to see.
Oh, right.
Why don't you at least?
But you see, the thing is, like marketing and that's gonna happen, right? But marketing's fine because it lets people know the options and the choices that they have to choose. Because we live in a society where, in theory, we have freedom of choice. We can go and buy a Mars bar, or we can go and buy a Snickers, or we can go and buy a Volkswagen, or we can go and buy a BMW.
There we go.
Right, whatever, you know, you have choice, and therefore there is reason to go to market with the choice that people have so they can make informed decisions, right? I don't have a problem with that. It's been going on since, like, dropping in like different types and brands in films
since capitalism started.
Since capitalism started, exactly, and that's absolutely fine. It's just like the level of integrity that is lost in such a rapid, such a rapid way, and where people tend to be now focusing on what they look like, on what they own, rather than who they actually are as people.
Yep.
And I find myself, as you know, we've gone around in a bit of a circle as we often do, but like working with clients now, trying to reduce the anxiety or feelings of doubt, self-doubt and lack of confidence around who they are as people, because they're continuously comparing themselves to the barrage of like information or what's being presented to them through media streams and through whatever channels that they are looking at or being exposed to. And I always feel like it's kind of like, not with every client obviously, some are very steadfast, but some clients can be quite fragile. People are quite fragile, right, at times.
I had one where she was mentioning how she didn't really like her upper traps. And I was like, oh, there's nothing wrong with them. I mean, it's just, that's a muscle you're supposed to have. And she was like, nah, I don't like them, blah, 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 blah. And then one day she came back and she told me, oh, one of the Kardashians, I think it was Courtney.
Oh, right, yeah.
There's a picture of her and she had...
They're all the same, aren't they?
I don't know, maybe. And she had upper traps as well, obviously. She's a human being. And she was like, oh, I feel better now because she's got them. Okay. And I was like, no, you don't need someone else to validate why you should like or dislike. What does that make sense?
Yeah, but it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
So what someone's done there is they've seen something in themselves,
didn't like it,
they've had a doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
So with that doubt, it's played on their mind, it's probably affected confidence or self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
On that basis, that person has then sought for that emotion to be made to feel better, so they don't feel so bad. But instead of coming to that decision from an internal point of view and becoming okay with it and working through feelings, emotions from an internal point of view, they've looked for an external validation, and that external validation has been another person or a celebrity or whatever, and that person has basically gone, or because of how they look, has given the nod to that individual, so that individual now feels better about that particular element.
But the issue is the reason she feels better isn't the right reason.
It's an external source of validation.
It must come from within.
It has to. At some point.
Like Rafiki once said to Simba, I think, it must come from within. Did he say that to him? Am I thinking of a different show?
Well, I don't know, but it sounds like you might.
I think he did.
We can possibly confirm that. I like Rafiki though. He is the man. He's a legend.
Yes.
So you get that though, right? You get that, and this is the problem, right? Though this is the problem. So, and this is where fashion is very, very, very good. So fashion used to have 2 seasons, winter, summer.
Mm-hmm.
Then it had 4 seasons, winter, summer, spring, autumn.
Mm-hmm.
Now fashion is set up to have 52 seasons.
I'm pretty sure there's only 4 seasons.
Right.
Where's the other?
But fashion rewrites 52 weeks of the year, right?
48. Oh, you're going to have a new season every week?
Every week.
No, that's not how seasons work,
no,
I'm afraid.
I know that. You know that. But not everyone else knows that, mate.
That's not how seasons work.
So fashion now is such an aggressive turnaround, and that's why you see all like Fashion Weekly or whatever, these magazines that come out, the celebrities that each week they're posting new fashion or new items of clothing or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like you're always chasing a trend. It's the same.
It's not just that, it's the fact that once you've worn it, it's like you're not allowed to wear it again.
I know. You've worn that T-shirt loads of times. Mate.
Forget me. I don't care about that stuff.
That was a freebie, wasn't it?
That was a freebie. I'm wearing a freebie. I've had people like, oh, you can't take a picture of me in this because I've already uploaded a picture of me wearing this outfit already.
Right. Who said that?
I can't remember.
Someone you hang around with?
Someone I know, yeah. It's like, so what? They was like, no, it's just not good. You know, you can't wear the same thing twice and show it off. I was like, I'm pretty sure you can. And do people actually care? This is what, because I couldn't care less. Do people actually care if you wear something twice?
Well, people follow validation, right? So if any given person looked a certain way,
okay,
like from a physique point of view, from a training point of view, or they wore a certain clothing or a brand or a watch or a pair of shoes, whatever, and they were wearing that, and then that person who like had a particular affiliation with that celebrity or what, you know, kind of like, even like haircuts and beard trims and stuff like that, right? So they had affiliation, and then that's how that person looked that week, and then that person like the following week or fortnight was seen with a new jacket or a new cut, or had started a new training regime, which was or a new diet or a new whatever.
Yeah.
Then that person, in order to feel sense of validation, sense of self-esteem, would follow that person's ideals, so they can then turn around and go, well, I follow
Jim Bob
Sam's routine now, or I'm on that diet because so and so.
Jim Bob Sam,
Johnny.
He's got all the answers.
Yeah.
Jim Bob Sam.
It's basically on that. Or have you seen that new jacket that Beyonce Knowles is wearing?
So I think it's interesting.
I need it.
You need it.
That's what people say. I need it. I need to get that. Do you need it?
No,
yeah. But they do need it.
It's clothes.
Because that's how they feel.
But then you're always chasing something that will never end.
And then what you do when you're always chasing
That is what you must.
You're always
spending.
You're always on the spenny.
Money. It's interesting you brought up the training stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting to a stage. Actually, it's been at this stage for a very long time where there is fitness figures, and that's what I'm going to call them, on Instagram and all these social medias, that are coming up with I'm going to call them interesting because that's the kindest word I can think of. Interesting exercises, just because it's different to what actually works, and they're trying to interest people to do what they do. I saw you prepare that. You was getting ready because you knew where I was going with this.
It's bullshit. That's what it is.
And I want people to understand there's fundamental exercises out there. It's okay to keep doing that. You don't need to do, I don't know, think of an example for me, Will. One of these exercises that just, you really don't need to do that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just ignore a lot of them. Like the, I know the classic, the Stairmeister kickback.
The good old throw your foot back.
Yeah. As
you're going up the stairs.
Yeah. As you rotate your hips and you don't engage the glute anymore.
Yeah. You guys don't need to do that. I'm gonna be honest. Just go up the stairs normally. You wouldn't do that.
Or another one.
If you're going into your office.
While we're on this subject, another one which I find absolutely bloody ludicrous is lying on your back.
Let me picture this. Okay.
Underneath the Smith machine bar, precariously placing your feet on the bar.
Oh, the leg press, you can just go and use
a leg press. But like, someone sees someone doing it, go, yeah, that's
interesting.
That's got to be that exercise is the answer.
I've never seen anyone doing that in the gym.
Glute.
I'm gonna give that. No, actually, if you just go, it is safer.
Definitely safer.
It's safer, and it does the exact same thing.
But this is what happens, you see. People see stuff on social media, people see stuff and they immediately are drawn to it like a moth
Because
to
it's
a
different,
flame.
isn't it? It's different.
Sometimes different's good.
But yeah,
Different
but
is
I
good.
mean, in terms of exercises,
But not wasting your time and money.
yeah. In terms of exercises, people have figured out what the most effective exercises are.
Yeah.
Just rinse and repeat it. And you're gonna get your results. There's no need to.
Yeah, you can tweak bits here and there.
Of course.
But like, generally speaking, it's like when, I don't know, when someone puts together a list of random exercises that are just like are weird and wonderful and different and actually quite hard to execute, and then someone who's in the gym who is really looking for some help, some support, some guidance, goes and picks up a program, and then there's all these like intricate things to do and they're nowhere near doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, because they've been guided by an Instagram post or a social media ad or something like that. They're in this position of actually embarking on something which is probably going to do more harm than good, especially if they're at like an initial stage of their journey. You know,
There's nothing wrong with just doing the simple basics.
Getting the basics right first.
Just. It's literally lift, put it back. You don't need to do no kickbacks. You don't need to adjust your soles of your feet on the bar while you're on your back and hope it doesn't slip off or
chin you.
yeah, you know, just keep it very simple and safe, and that will work.
So we've been quite scathing and quite cynical, like two old men, Gok one and a baboon.
It was my birthday recently. I do feel older now.
Oh, happy birthday!
I'm coming along.
I did message you on your birthday, didn't I?
I think
Not
so.
to say happy birthday.
You just
I just
messaged.
messaged you,
You just
and
needed
you were like,
something.
"It's my 28th rotation around the sun wheel," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" Oh, your birthday.
Yeah.
So, but
There are goods.
There are goods. You know, I think that there is a wave of
Woke people.
yeah. You know,
Can we call him that?
obviously in our industry, James Smith PT.
You a fan of his?
Yeah, I am. I'm a fan of his content of straightening up what's right and what's wrong. Definitely.
I like his sarcasm.
He's
Quite funny.
and like his I can listen to it and I appreciate it. It's not probably my choice of communication wouldn't be that.
Yeah.
But you know,
Everyone has their different methods.
Everyone has their own methods to get the message out, and fair play. I think that, you know, there's a few industries, a few like standalone like companies which are doing well, to like kind of realign, re-educate, and give people a little bit more of a balanced approach. But also, I think, and this is the skill, is to give people the empowerment and knowledge to be able to filter. It's like almost like there is no filtration system, so you almost like need to have your own filter.
You have
system.
to manually do it.
You have to manually filter your own system. So there is fantastic stuff on social media, and I don't mean just in fitness. There are some great people from the fitness industry and that are on there. There's also some really motivating things for like entrepreneurs as well, to like kind of put things, plans together, and kind of give people like that kind of confidence to step into something new, which is great. I'm personally a huge fan of like wildlife and like really like photography and stuff like that, and that's really what Instagram started as, right?
Just photographs, nice photographs,
nice photos. Yeah. So, I mean, and there's plenty of that as well, and I'm going skiing in February, and I like when I'm leading up to a ski holiday, me and a few of the guys that are going, we kind of like post like really nice scenery, like someone like skiing through powder, or like boarders doing some cool jumps. Skiers don't do cool jumps, but boarders do. So like kind of, we like, and that's really nice. It's a really good interactive platform, social media from an Instagram point of view, Facebook as well. But that's really good to like kind of, I guess it's that inspiration for people, and that is there. It is on social media. You can find it on social media, but you do need to have your own filter system to block the crap out.
What's the warning signs? What's the signs that goes, actually I shouldn't be looking at this?
Gut instinct. Follow your gut instinct.
How does one feel? Does it make you sad?
What does that make me feel like? That makes you feel a bit like, I wish I was doing better.
It's a bit upsetting.
Yeah, just get rid of it then,
Unfollow that.
If it's something like, wow, that is an amazing achievement, that's an amazing place to go visit.
This is some really good information.
Keep it. That's what you want to that's the Facebook page you want to follow. That's the Instagram account you want to be looking at, So
maybe ask the question, why? Why am I following this page?
Yeah.
What does it give back to me?
What value? What's your perception?
Yeah.
Stop, think, what's my perception of this particular person,
Then
or this particular page?
That does mean you can even do that to us. Why am I following this person?
People. Because if you don't do that, then you just end up mindless, habitual.
It's true. I did reach a stage where it was just garbage, and I had to start.
A lot of people waste a lot of time on social media like that.
That too. Maybe the answer is just to get off it completely.
So I mean and I was actually having a conversation with a client not so long ago about disconnection from social media, not permanently, because it is quite an important part of a lot of people's lives. A lot of like the examples I gave earlier, if I wasn't on Instagram involved in firing around pictures of where we're going to be skiing, I would feel like I was missing out. That actually brings value to the experience, right? So not complete disconnection forever, but having periods of downtime where you're not having this constant stream of information bombarding you to process in a mindless way.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple of clients I've got one client which has never had Facebook, never had Instagram.
What a life that must
be.
Well,
he's 25.
That is the good life.
He's like, I don't know anything about that.
Ignorance is bliss sometimes.
It can be, for sure, in some senses. But yeah, so there is some great stuff. So it's important, like social media and what it represents is and does have good. It does and will always have ugly, and it will also have photoshopped.
Be careful, guys.
Be careful.
Not everything you see is real.
Why are you being so creepy at me?
Is there anything else you wanted to add, Will?
No. I will say one thing, actually. Minimalism is a word I'm going to drop in. Minimalism. The Minimalists. Now that's something that has been on Netflix, which I've watched, and I am very excited to do a podcast with you about minimalism.
Is that what it's called on Netflix?
Yeah, okay. You're going to watch it.
Sure.
So we're going to do that, guys. But yeah. No? Anything you want to add?
I'm just going to ask a question for the viewers.
For the viewers?
If you're on YouTube.
Okay.
What is the worst exercise you have ever seen in the gym? Please let me know.
The
worst exercise you've ever seen.
I've got a whole list. Be interested to see if anyone matches any of the ones on my list. Excellent. Okay, perfect.
It's a goodbye from us.
Goodbye, and until next time,
we'll see you guys on the big drill.
Bye.
See you guys.
Hi, I'm Will.
And I'm Ghazi.
And thanks for tuning in to the Big Drill. You can also find us on these platforms here. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can find him on Insta.
Ghazi.